This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not advice or encouragement to grow or use any of these plants. Some of them are tightly controlled under United States law, and cultivating them without proper authorization can result in serious legal consequences. Somewhere in the United States right now, a completely normal backyard garden technically contains a controlled substance. Neat fence, a little pond out back, a few flowers the owner is genuinely proud of, maybe an opium poppy. Yes, just like the name implies. It might be something a grandfather planted years ago and nobody ever questioned because it looked pretty. And if it looks pretty, why would you? Good question, and the answer is simple. Some of what's growing in that garden is sitting in a very interesting legal gray area, and some of it isn't gray at all. In this episode, we're looking at beautiful plants that cross a very clear legal line in the United States. A few of the most heavily restricted plants in the United States look like something you'd find at a garden center on a Saturday morning. Some of them have been there for decades, and most of the people growing them have no idea that what they're watering every morning is sitting in an interesting conversation with federal law. Take this one, for instance. There is a reasonable chance you've seen the poppy in a neighbor's garden, or maybe in a seed catalog listed between the sunflowers and the zinnias, under a name like tall annual poppy or breadseed poppy. Described as easy to grow and great for cut flower arrangements, it is a very beautiful plant. Grows easily, reseeds itself every year, and has been turning up in American gardens for generations. The seeds from this exact species are sitting in kitchens across the country right now, sprinkled on bread rolls and bagels every morning. Inside those large distinctive seed pods, though, this plant produces a milky latex containing morphine, codeine, and thebaine, the chemical building blocks of some of the most powerful and addictive substances ever identified. Heroin ultimately begins with this flower, and the opium poppy has also shaped the broader history of powerful opioid drugs, and it has been cultivated deliberately for at least 3,000 years, which means humanity has known exactly what it was doing with this plant for a very long time. Under the Controlled Substances Act of 1970, opium poppy and poppy straw are listed alongside other Schedule II controlled substances in the United States. Growing this plant with the intent to produce opium is a federal crime. And yet the seeds from the very same species are sold legally in grocery stores as food. Dried seed pods sit in decorative vases in living rooms across the country, and the living plant still appears in gardens every spring. Oh, the poppy is one pretty flower, which, well, could explain why your neighbor has a backyard garden dedicated to it. Now, not every restricted plant is hiding something sinister inside its seed pods. Some of them look completely unremarkable, so the surprise isn't what they contain. The surprise is that anyone bothered to ban them at all. This is Khat, and if nobody told you what you were looking at, there's almost nothing about it that would make you stop walking. It is a shrub native to the highlands of East Africa and the Arabian Peninsula. Sufi mystics used it during long nights of prayer in the 11th century. In Yemen today, an estimated 60% of adult men chew fresh khat leaves every afternoon in dedicated rooms in their homes with friends and family. The sessions stretch for hours, built around conversation and community, the same way you'd gather around a coffee pot or a cold beer after work. It is, in those parts of the world, about as scandalous as a cup of tea. The active compound in fresh khat leaves is called cathinone. It works similarly to amphetamine, producing alertness and mild euphoria. And here's the detail that makes khat unusual among restricted substances. Cathinone degrades fast. Within 48 hours of being picked, the potency is largely gone, which means that for most of history, the only way to really use khat was to be somewhere it was already growing. It was never designed to travel. In the United States, cathinone has been a Schedule I controlled substance since 1993, sitting in the same legal category as heroin and LSD. Fresh khat leaves are illegal under federal law. For the hundreds of thousands of Somali, Ethiopian, and Yemeni immigrants living in American cities, this is where it gets strange. A plant that was an unremarkable part of daily life, the social equivalent of stopping at a coffee shop, became a criminal offense the moment they crossed the border. The shrub still looks exactly like something you'd walk past without a second thought. The plant still looks ordinary. The law just sees it very differently. Khat is woven into ordinary daily life for millions of people. The next plant belongs to a very different world, older, more sacred, and far less ordinary. Ah, the peyote. It grows almost flat against the desert floor. Just a small, rounded cactus covered in soft, button-like bumps, sitting quietly in the dirt. Archaeological evidence places human use of this cactus at more than 5,000 years ago, making it one of the oldest documented relationships between people and a plant anywhere on Earth. A Franciscan friar named Sahagún became one of the first Europeans to write about it in the 16th century, documenting how the indigenous people of Mexico consumed it during ceremonies and reported experiencing visions. The active compound is mescaline, a naturally occurring hallucinogen that produces powerful and long-lasting changes in perception and consciousness. A traditional ceremony involving peyote begins around 8 in the evening and runs through the entire night, including prayer, singing, and contemplation, before concluding with a communal breakfast the following morning. For the communities where this tradition originates, the cactus is not a drug. It is medicine. It is ceremony. In 1970, peyote was classified as a Schedule I controlled substance under the Controlled Substances Act, the same category as heroin. A narrow exemption exists for members of the Native American Church, using it in bona fide religious ceremonies. Outside that exemption, growing or possessing it is a federal crime, including in the states of Texas and New Mexico, where it naturally grows wild in the ground. The plant is now listed as vulnerable by conservationists. Its wild populations have shrunk from decades of overharvesting. 3 plants, one that blooms quietly in suburban gardens while supplying the chemical foundation of the opioid crisis, one that is a daily social ritual for 60% of the adult male population of an entire country, and a federal crime 20 hours of flight time away, and one that carries 5,000 years of sacred ceremony inside it and is now slowly disappearing from the desert it came from. Not every beautiful plant belongs in a backyard. Not everyone is safe to grow, and some of the most restricted plants in the United States look so ordinary that most people wouldn't recognize them for what they truly are. And these are just the plants that get into trouble with drug law. In the next episodes, we'll look at the ones that kill the body outright and the ones that quietly destroy the spaces we live in.